yourself.
Perfect. Thank you. My name is Andrea. Right now, I'm a senior data integration consultant at Rapidi. So I've been in this world for quite some time, I would say. So I have been working a lot on system integrations. My focus, of course, is on Dynamics 365, Salesforce, HubSpot, and any other systems that companies want to integrate. And of course, about me, I'm island based. I'm based in the Canary Islands, and I always enjoy going to the beach and just having fun. Back to you, Serene.
Thank you, Andrea. So, first topic is about Rapidi so that you can learn to know who we are and what we do. We do have over than 30 years of data integration expertise. Our journey started back then when we were working with Navision, as the CEO and founder of Rapidi was part of Navision. So this speaks about our expertise in the Microsoft side. We also started partnership with Salesforce from the beginning since 2007. And we do specialize in integrating all of the most important systems like Salesforce, Microsoft, HubSpot, and many others. We do have customers worldwide. We work with direct customers and also with partners. And we are offering a flexible, simple, and robust complete solution, which is based on a cutting-edge cloud technology. It's user-friendly, doesn't require any programming, and it's totally flexible to match your needs. At Rapidi, we say that we go the extra mile for our customers because we do not only offer you the solution, we also help you maintain the integration, and we offer you the outstanding support, which is included in our subscriptions. And this is one of the reasons why we have in these great customer references and the 5 stars in App Exchange, as we are offering a complete solution that is working well and with the needed support included in it.
Okay, so now we'll talk a bit about integrations. So we are here because we do want to focus a bit on the Dynamics 365 ERP and Salesforce integrations. Now, when it comes to Rapidi, we do want to highlight a few things. So first, when we talk about this type of integration, we have to say that we do have ready-made templates. So what does this mean? This means that we have this pre-configured mapping templates that you can use so that you can have your integration up and running in no time. So these templates have been configured so that they cover all business processes. So in this case, you can say, I want to synchronize customers back and forth. I want to do the same thing for contacts, items, and then orders, invoices, payments, everything. So if you were to have that full process in place, then you can use the mapping templates and then you are good to go. So it's a way to speed up the process so that you can get value out of the integration. So again, this means that you'll start fast, you'll have a minimum setup, and you don't need to go and build everything from scratch. What's important here is that the mapping templates can be adjusted. So if you start with specific scenarios, for example, you want to synchronize master data, you can start using them as they are and then adjust them. You can add more to them, you can make changes, you can customize them, right? So you can do whatever you need so that your data is correct in both systems. Then another point is about the fact that we do talk about the true ERP and Salesforce sync. This means that we have native support for Dynamics. So any of the ERPs, and we can talk about Business Central, Finance, older Navision versions, or even just SQL databases. So this means that you'll have an end-to-end data sync and everything will be synchronized correctly. Another point, which is really important, would be the object coverage and custom models. So we do have support for custom objects and ERP-specific properties. So then if you have custom tables, custom objects, then you can include those into your integration. So for us, it really doesn't matter if it's standard or custom. And the same thing applies to fields. If you have a specific table in your ERP and you want to add custom fields because you need specific data, you can add them, and then we will be able to read those and send the data into your destination system. So this means that we can easily adapt to any structure or setup. So again, it means that there will be no code changes. You just configure and you synchronize your data. Another point is about the hybrid integration model. So of course we know that when it comes to Microsoft, there are cloud and on-premise ERPs. So we can connect to both. So if you have a cloud ERP, perfect, that's easy. If you have an on-premise one, then sometimes you are wondering if you can connect to it. In our case, we can do it. We can connect to on-prem systems without any issues. And if it's a newer or older version, for us, it doesn't matter because we are able to do that. So this means that we can connect to your system either way, and we can get the information that's required and send that over to the other system. And last but not least would be the fact that you will have expert-led support. It means that you will be guided through the process. So you will get advice, recommendations from our team. So our team has Salesforce and ERP experience, so you will get the best practices and recommendations from them. So you get this full overview, and of course, you will be able to build your integration the right way. Next. So now, when it comes to integrating the Dynamics ERPs and Salesforce, here we have 3 steps which are really important. Step number 1, which is extremely important and has to be completed, is to discover and align. So this is the first thing that you need to do. So you have to think about the goal, your scope, what would be the systems, right? And what would be the tables and objects. So this step is very important because you need to think about your current business process, how everything is being done, and then how would this be mapped within an integration. So you have to make sure that the integration will do the right thing. And then after you have everything defined and you know what to do, then you'll have a signed integration brief, and then you are set for success, so to speak. Then the second step would be to design and build. So you are done with step number 1. So you know that, for example, okay, I want to synchronize customer data. I want to send that from my ERP to Salesforce, and also contacts. So I'm going to do that. In this second step, then we go ahead and we connect to your systems. So if you have your cloud, let's say ERP, we will connect to it easily, and then also to Salesforce. So we connect to both, and then we can make sure that we have everything that we need. After we have connected to that, then we will take a look at the mapping templates and use them and adjust them based on what you need. Meaning any field mappings, any additional ones if you need to, any transformation rules that you need, so that you get the right setup in the end. So we are done with that, and then in the end, you'll have working data flows in a testing environment. And at this point, you also have a test plan. So you know, okay, I want to test specific scenario, or I want to test specific use cases. So you are done with step number 2, then you go to the last one, which would be validate and operate. Here, really important, run end-to-end tests. So at this point, you have to run tests in a testing environment. For example, you have specific scenarios that you go through every day. So that's something that you can test. If you have edge cases, again, that's a really good scenario. So you have to test a bit, so then you can see in the end what the result is. And then if everything looks okay, then you are ready to go live and then have everything running in your production environment. So after you have completed the testing, then we will be able to deploy everything into your live environment. And then from that point onwards, we will just monitor the integration and make sure that everything runs smoothly. So in the end, the outcome is that you will be live in a live environment, of course, and then you have this continuous monitoring running for your specific integration.
Great. And now I would like to explain why ERP and Salesforce integration matters and real world possibilities. So, the most important thing is that we can eliminate data silos, align teams, and of course, drive smarter decisions. And this has benefits for both sales team and finance team. So, when it comes to sales teams benefits, we can talk about smarter selling because it helps access real time ERP data for orders, invoices, stock, anything that is inside Salesforce. It also helps sales team have a faster quoting as they can use the ERP synced product catalog to create deals instantly. And this also helps with deal to order automation as it seamlessly converts closed deals into ERP sales orders. And it also makes sales team get complete visibility as they can see a payment status, credit limits, and have fulfillment updates in Salesforce. Then, when it comes to the finance team benefits, they will have an accurate invoicing as they will get an auto sync deals and orders from Salesforce into the ERP for billing. They will reduce a lot of errors as this eliminates manual data entry across systems. And they will get faster collections as this let sales track and paid invoices in Salesforce and follow up accordingly. And we can also talk about consistent master data as this will keep customers, contacts, and billing info aligned across the systems. And now I would like to show you how the data looks in your CRM.
Okay, let me share my screen. Sharing, I think it's visible. Okay, yes. Okay, so previously I talked a bit about the integration and how things need to happen actually, right? So then what happens is that usually companies want to synchronize customer data. So then you have all your customers in your ERP and then you want to have all of that in Salesforce. So in this specific scenario, like I had this customer in my ERP and then I synchronized everything into Salesforce. So then I also have a record for this specific customer. So what you see here, this is data that came from my ERP. Of course, as soon as the account is created, if further updates happen, then those will also be visible here. Like if you have, if someone changes the email address of this customer in your ERP, then that update will be pushed into Salesforce, and then you will see that information here. So so then you will have this continuous sync between your ERP and Salesforce, and you will always see the same data. So here I have a customer. So this is all the information that I have in my ERP. Of course, you can have different fields or different type of data. So then you will have the customer name and then website, contact information. Then you can have billing address, shipping address. So everything, basically everything that you would see in an ERP system. So then you have the customer setup. You also see it here, and then what happens is that you also want to bring over transactions because you do want to have this financial overview of each account and see what the situation is. Now, what you will see here, you'll see related lists, meaning this would be lists that consist of all the transactions that are associated with this customer. So you will see here first sales orders that came from the ERP system. Then you will see payments or ledger entries. And then the last one would be sales history, which consists of invoices and credit memos. Now, these three lists are actually custom objects and they are part of a package. So this is something that we provide to companies if they need to integrate transactions as well. So then what would you do in this situation? Then you would take that package, install it into your Salesforce org, and then you would have all this list available with all the fields that you see here. And then you can use either all of the fields or just some of them. Of course, very much depends on your current setup. Now, for example, if we were to look at the sales order. So this is a sales order that came from my ERP. Here you would see all the data that is linked to this order. So you see the order number here, then you would see the order date, the status, you would see the company that this is associated with, you would see the address and then any order related information like quote numbers or opportunities, and of course the total amount that you would see for that specific order, then total amount including VAT, and then any other information that's relevant for that specific sales order. Now, any order will have products. So here you would see all the products that are associated with this order. So it will give you a good overview of what has been ordered by that specific customer. So then if you go here, then you would see the information about that specific product. Now, if we go back to the account, then we also have ledger entries. So here you would see those payments that have been processed. So if you take this one, then you would see this is a payment. So this has been sent or transferred from my ERP to Salesforce and associated with this specific customer. And here again, you would see data with regards to the amounts. You will see the transaction that this payment is linked to, the customer, and then of course due date, document date, or payment discount date. So here you have a lot of fields that you can use, and then you can definitely keep those so that you get to see everything that's coming from your ERP. So then as soon as new payments are being processed in your ERP, those will be sent over to this list, and the list will be constantly updated with more and more entries. And then we have sales history, which is a combination. Here you have invoices and credit memos. And again, they are coming from the ERP. So here you would see the total amount, including VAT, total amount without VAT, and then the company that this is linked to, and references. For example, you have order number, then you have the address, you have due date, order date. So basically everything that you see in your ERP when you open a sales order. So this is definitely very relevant for those teams that need to see all the important information. And of course, if new orders are created and processed, everything is going to be sent over here, and then the list will be updated, so you see more and more transactions coming in. So that, as I said before, you'll have this continuous synchronization happening behind the scenes, so that your ERP data will match whatever you have in your Salesforce environment. I think that was it.
Yeah, thank you very much for the demo, Andrea. And let me share again. So it's time for the questions. Let's see, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, great. Okay, we have one question over here. Someone is asking, so Catherine says, we are having multiple ERP companies that need integrated into one Salesforce org. How do we deal with the integration if we have plans to roll it out to other countries?
Yes, so this is like a normal setup in the sense that you can have more legal entities in your ERP, and of course you have just one Salesforce org. So then what we do, we usually do integrate all companies and send data to Salesforce, but we use a routing mechanism for that. So then we point, so that we have all those companies' data sent to Salesforce. So let me explain that. So for example, you have one company in the US and one in Germany, right? So then what we do, we define a routing mechanism for each one of them. And we say, okay, if you have customers in your US entity, we send that over to Salesforce, but that account will be marked as being the US entity. So you will have a specific field on the account that would say that this belongs to the US entity. And then if you have customers that are being sent from the other one, from the German entity, and that's being sent to Salesforce, then we do the same. And then this process is set up also the other way around, because then if you have accounts in Salesforce, then you want to create one account that needs to go to the US legal entity and not the German one. So what do? You select a tag for it, and the tag can be simply a field where you mention which is the legal entity, and then that's going to be sent over to the ERP. So within Rapidi, we have this routing mechanism that we put together. So we call it tags. So it's a way to make sure that all the company's data, they go to Salesforce correctly, and then in Salesforce you can make a difference, so to speak, between the records that belong to one entity and the ones that belong to the other entity.
Thank you, Andrea. Okay, I don't see more questions for today. That means that the demo was amazing. It was all clear. Okay, it's time to wrap up today's webinar. We invite you to visit the Rapidi online website. You can see more information about what we do. Of course, you can download some solution overviews about specific solution integration if you need. There are many case stories about successful integration that we had with our customers. Fact sheets, we have technical documentation on the wiki. And of course, if you have any doubts or questions, we are more than happy to answer and help. So I would like to thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon.